everyone, I'm Sarah and this is Budget Sew, where we create stylish, fashionable looks as inexpensively as possible. Today, I'm going to show you my McCall's sewing pattern haul from simplicity.com. If you like this video, please subscribe to Budget Sew and follow me on social media at Budget Sew. Just a quick note before we get started, today I'm wearing McCall's 7869. The link to the video of the sew along of McCall's 7869 is right here at the top of the screen. There was a sale on McCall's patterns on the simplicity.com website, and all McCall's patterns were $4.99. These patterns were such a great price because they usually sell for $18.95 to $21.95, so I stocked up. These are mostly separate patterns that I can use to build a wardrobe. The first pattern is McCall's 8408, published in 2023. These patchwork shorts and pants with a contour waistband feature a fly front zipper, back darts, top stitched hems, and pockets. Views A and B have contrast panels, and View C uses the same fabric for all panels, but still creates a dramatic look. The suggested fabrics are chino, cotton blends, denim, and twill. A 7-inch zipper adjusted to fit and a 3/4 inch button is required for these pants. This pattern reminded me of how I used to sketch and redesign my jeans. I used to add side panels to make them wider, or inserts to make them flared, or larger inserts for bell bottoms, or even adding contrast pieces that I bleach dyed. I had so much fun doing that when I was a teenager that I thought I'd do it again with this McCall's pattern. Then there's McCall's 7782 from 2022, also known as Nancy McCall's. For a time, McCall's was including a hashtag and a girl's name followed by McCall's when they were producing patterns so that you could show your make on social media. These close-fitting tops have sleeve variations including short, 3/4, and long sleeves. Views B, C, and D have godets. View D has a shaped hemline and the wrong side of the fabric will show. This pattern is designed for moderate stretch knits only with 35% cross grain stretch, such as jerseys, cotton knits, interlock, and novelty knits. The only notion needed for this project is seam binding for the shoulder seams. This pattern is from my mom, but I think I might trace a copy because it's so nice. I love the color blocking of View B. There are 3 colors used, and I also like the long back shirt of View D. Next, there's McCall's 7476, a pattern for drop shoulder vests and cardigans. These semi-fitted vests and cardigans have a single button closure and length and collar variations. Views A, B, D, and E have patch pockets. Views A and D have a banded collar, and views C, D, and E have a shawl collar. This is a learn to sew for fun pattern because it's designed for the beginner. It has easy to follow instructions and basic sewing tips such as how to make buttonholes, how to attach a collar, and how to make patch pockets. This pattern is designed for moderate stretch knits only, such as sweater knits, double knit, sweatshirt fleece, and cotton knit. There's only one notion needed, and it's a 1-inch or 2.5 centimeter button. My favorite is the drop shoulder vest in View A. There are endless ways to style a vest. You can pair it with matching pants to achieve a coordinated look, or throw it over a long sleeve top for added dimension, or with a bold skirt for a night out, or with denim for a casual look. I have a couple more vest patterns later on in this video. Then there's McCall's 7778. This pattern is so pretty. These dresses, romper, and jumpsuit have a close-fitting interface bodice, an invisible zipper, and a gathered skirt or pants with length variations. Views B and C have the appearance of a lace-up bodice, but there is a zipper in the back. The suggested fabrics are linen, cotton blends, challis, and stable knits, but I think I might pop onto Amazon to see if they have any polyester sheet sets that I could use for this. They have lots of fun prints, and polyester is my go-to fabric. All views require a 14-inch or 36-centimeter invisible zipper and one hook and eye. Views B and C need 8 grommets and 2 yards of 3/4 of an inch of ribbon. And view D requires 2 1.5-inch rings for the straps. I was worried that if the grommets on the front of the dress were too large, that you might be able to see through the holes. But after I thought about it, I usually wear a shirt and a slip underneath these types of dresses, so it wouldn't be see-through. Next, there's McCall's 7706, a McCall's fashion accessories pattern for SPATS. It's a Catherine Brenny original pattern. View A is lined with purchased charms and trims. SPATS B is lined as well with purchased lace and ribbon ties. View C is lined with a side zipper opening and front tabs. SPATS D are lined with a side zipper opening and purchased ribbon for the laced front. View E is lined and quilted with side tabs with buckles. View F is lined with a contrast overlay and ruffles. The spats of A, B, and F have a back opening. The suggested fabrics for spats A and C and contrast E and F are leather, embossed lambskin, synthetic leather, and ultra suede. Spats B and D should be velveteen and brocade. Spats E and the lining of E should be made of ponte knit. The recommended fabric for spats F and lining F is suiting. The contrast F should be made from embossed goat suede. The lining of A and C should be made from pigskin or ultra suede. The lining of B should be satin and the lining of D brocade. These are really exciting choices of fabrics. This pattern calls for a lot of interesting notions. For example, the spats of view A require 12 3/16 of an inch 2-part eyelets, 1/8 of a yard of 1.5-inch elastic, and 1/2 yard of 1/8 of an inch chain. In addition, 5/8 of a yard each of 3/4 of an inch ribbon, 1 1/8 of an inch metallic trim, and 3 inches of pleated trim. Also, 4 jump rings, butterfly charms, assorted decorative gears, rubber cement, a roller press, and 1 pair of 36-inch shoelaces and invisible thread. I realize that that is a lot of notions, but I think that these would look amazing. They sound like a lot of fun to make. I have 2 spats patterns. One is a 1970 Simplicity pattern, number 9553, and the other is McCall's 6615 from 2012. And I just love them. What's nice about this new spats pattern is that they're not specific for high heels. You can wear flats or heels with these spats because not all versions have the strap underneath the arch of the foot. Then there's McCall's 7786, also known as #TheaMcCalls, so I can post my make on social media. These loose-fitting pull-on pants have back elastic, side pockets, and leg shape and length variations. View A has a lower leg band, View B has a lace overlay, and View C has a gathered lower leg with side slits. View D has a flowing ruffle. The suggested fabrics are cotton blends, linen, crepes, and stable knits, and View B's overlay should be lace. All views require 1 yard of 1-inch elastic. I love the flat front of these pants and the elastic waist at the back for comfort. I can just imagine the movement and flow of the pants in View C and D. Very summery. My mom saw this pattern in 2020, but when she went to buy the pattern, it was no longer in print. She was thrilled when she saw it back on the Simplicity website. This pattern comes in 2 size ranges, 6 to 14 and 14 to 22. So I ordered one of the smaller sizes for my mom and a size 16 for myself. Next, there's McCall's 8050, also known as Jessie McCall's. I'll be sure to show my make using the hashtag. This is the second vest pattern that I purchased in my McCall's haul. These easy-fitting, unlined vests have optional back ties and slits, button, pocket, and length variations. View A has patch pockets, and vests A, B, C, F, and G have side slits. View E has a welt. The recommended fabrics are cotton and cotton blends, challis, crepe, linen, denim, gabardine, ultra suede, synthetic leather, lightweight corduroy, lightweight wool and wool blends, lightweight tapestry, and lightweight velveteen. View A requires 4 3/4 of an inch buttons. View B needs 1 3/4 of an inch button. View C, E, and F require 3 3/4 of an inch buttons, and view G needs 2 3/4 of an inch to 1 1/8 of an inch novelty buttons. There are 6 variations to this vest, so it's very versatile. Depending on my fabric choice, I can make different vests for different seasons to really pull my look together. Then there's McCall's 7141, a costume pattern for blazers, a vest, a sailor blouse, and pleated skirts. The semi-fitted, unlined blazer has a notched collar, French darts, and shoulder pads. The longer version of the blazer, View B, has patch pockets. The close-fitting lined vest has tabs, a shaped hemline, and a back neck hook and loop closing, as well as purchase buckles and applique. The fitted top has a mock front band, a button-down closure, short sleeves, and a narrow hem. Blouse D has a sailor collar and tie. Blouse E has a pointed collar and collar band. The knife pleated skirts in 2 lengths are cut on the crosswise grain and have a waistband and a side zipper. Purchase bias tape is used to finish the neckline of the blouse, as well as trim for the sailor collar and tie, and is optional for the skirts. This pattern is designed for lightweight to medium weight woven fabrics. Suiting fabrics, twill, and gabardine are recommended for views A, B, C, F, and G. The vest can also be made in synthetic leather and synthetic suede. The recommended fabrics for the blouses are cotton and cotton blends, and the vest lining may be made from cotton, cotton blends, or lining fabrics. The blazer requires 1/2 inch covered shoulder pads and 3/4 of an inch buttons, 2 for the shorter blazer and 3 for the longer version. The vest needs 4 1-inch D-rings, 1 1/4 inch of 2-inch Velcro closure, and optional applique. The sailor blouse and tie require 3/4 of a yard of 1/2 inch single fold bias tape, 1 3/4 yards of 1/4 of an inch ribbon, 3 snaps, and 7 1/2 inch buttons. Blouse E needs 8 1/2 inch buttons. Skirts F and G require a 7-inch zipper and hook and eye closure. Optional are 3 1/4 yards of 3/8 of an inch ribbon. You might be wondering, why a costume pattern? Am I going to wear this costume? The answer is probably not. But if you look at the garments individually, you can build a great wardrobe with this pattern. For example, I have a thing for vests right now, and this vest would look great with a pair of jeans. Imagine the sailor top in a pale blue with a navy blue tie and navy wide leg pants. That would be a great summer outfit. I've always been a fan of pleated skirts, so I pictured the longer version with a cozy sweater. And the blazer is a staple in my wardrobe. It has neck and elbow darts, which I absolutely love because they make the jacket fit better. The next pattern is McCall's 7511, a pattern for open front jackets with shawl, collar, and hood. The very loose-fitting hooded jacket has sleeve, pocket, and length variations. Views A and B have contrast lining, cuffed sleeves, and patch pockets. View B has patch pockets, views B and D have short sleeves, and view C has inseam pockets. This is another of the Learn to Sew for Fun patterns because it's designed for the beginner. It has easy to follow instructions and basic sewing tips for learning to sew with fleece, sew a lined garment, and make a patch pocket. The suggested fabrics are cuddle fleece, fleece, sweatshirt fleece, and wool blends, and there are no notions required for this project. I'm finding that there are so many new fabrics out there. Well, they're new to me. I wasn't sure what cuddle fleece was, so I looked it up. Wholesalefabrics.co.uk says that cuddle fleece is a super soft and luxurious fleece fabric. It comes in all sorts of wonderful patterns, and it's generally made from 100% polyester, so it shouldn't shrink in the wash. It's also a knit fabric that does not fray. It sounds really nice. The final pattern is McCall's 7417, a Misses and Girls swimsuit pattern. The rash guard tops have a neck band, stitched hems, raglan sleeves, and sleeve and length variations. The elasticized bikini bottoms are partially lined and have contrast variations. All views are close-fitting and cut on the crosswise grain. Tops A and C have short sleeves, B has 3/4 length sleeves, and D has long sleeves. The bikini bottoms G have a high waist. Views B, C, D, F, and G have contrast panels. The recommended fabrics are medium weight, two-way stretch knits, such as swimwear knits. Tops A and B require 1 yard of 3/4 inch elastic, and bottoms E and F need 2.5 yards of 3/8 inch elastic. Bottoms G require 1 yard of 3/4 inch elastic and 1.5 yards of 3/8 inch elastic. In a previous video, I ordered swim elastic from FabCycle. The link to the video with that fabric haul is right here at the top of the screen. Swim elastic feels quite rubbery. The quality that differentiates swim elastic from regular braided elastic is its fiber content. Swim elastic is typically made of a combination of cotton and rubber. Like braided elastic, swim elastic becomes more narrow as it stretches and loses stretch when it is sewn or pierced with needles and pins. I hope to use some of this swim elastic on my new swimsuit. I'm going to make the long sleeve top in view D, but I'm not sure which bottoms yet. The fabric that I chose for my swimsuit was this green printed swimsuit fabric that I bought from Fabricland at a store closing sale in Stratford, Ontario. It was $6 a meter and there were 3.2 meters left on the bolt. I used a 7-inch strip of this fabric previously to lengthen a knit wrap dress, but I have plenty of fabric left over for my swimsuit. The link to the video with the lengthened dress is right here at the top of the screen. I hope you enjoyed my McCall's sewing pattern haul from simplicity.com. Subscribe to Budget Sew for more great videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.